One of the first things that you must take note of is the following. Gold is a metal. Sure you make this video to get 5,000 likes. It's raining, you see. I'm receiving all the blessings from the Lord above, and I'm still recording the video. So just make sure that you get this video to 5,000 likes. Recommend this channel to your friends, to your peers, to each and everyone that you can recommend it to. It might help them to know how to trade and to know how to analyze even much more better. Other than that, let's go to your mentor. Signing in. Ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all, and I hope each and every one of you is doing well. It's the Omari Jao, the Omari JJ, the trader from the villages, the only goat that is a Jaguar, Umalume Forex. Guys, on today's video, we're going to be doing something a little bit different from the other videos. We're going to be strictly focusing on XAU USD. So it's gold. As we all know, it's a metal. And it's a little bit more volatile than the other metals, and it's my favorite metal to trade as opposed to all of the other metals. So on today's video, we're going to be diving deeper into what affects gold, what makes gold to buy hard, what makes gold to sell hard, small things that you should look into before trading gold, as well as all the other internal and external factors that each and every individual must look into before even trading gold. So I'm going to be helping you with how to analyze it, the best strategy that I've been using over the years on trading gold, and some few more other tips that I can give you that could be very much beneficial to you when you are trading XAU USD. Without wasting any further time, I think it's important for us to just jump straight into it and go. Welcome to the flip side. I promised you guys that I'm gonna be helping you guys know how to trade gold like a pro, and you're gonna be seeing the different things that I use to make my analysis to be much more better and to be much more easier when I am trading XAU USD. One of the first things that you must take note of is the following. Gold is a metal. And it happens that when all the investors across the world lose trust in a particular country or in a particular nation, all they do is to invest more into a metal as opposed to different businesses, because gold shall forever go up. Take that note. Gold shall forever go up. When people lose trust in terms of different businesses, in terms of different companies, all they dive into gold. So that's something that you must take note of. You also what happened 2019 to 2022, that we had what we call a global pandemic, where we had COVID-19. So most of the investors across the world, they were not investing mainly on stocks and whatsoever, but they mainly invested on gold. Since gold, they saw it as a metal that shall forever rise. You will see that in most of the cases, when the DXY is negative, the dollar index, I've said this several number of times, that when the DXY is negative, you will always see gold always being bullish, because that means most of the investors, they tend to invest more on gold when they see that the dollar is weak. Most of the time when you see the gold being weak, you're gonna see the dollar index being strong. It means that the investors have shifted again their money back to where? Back to the stocks that they were having at the time and moment. This is something that is very much important and very much informative that you guys look into each and every time. So that's the first part that you guys must look into. So another thing that is important with gold is that it's a very strong commodity. It's a very strong commodity that shall forever rise in most of the cases, regardless of whatever that is happening. There can be a war in Russia right now, but gold prices will never be affected by that. In fact, if there is a war in Russia, that means more investors that are in Russia, they're gonna tend to invest more on gold as opposed to what? As opposed to the GDP of the country as a whole. So now, with that opening statement being made, I want us to look into how do Jaguar. There's a question that says, and the question that will come and say, Jaguar, how do you then trade gold in Forex? Guys, the time of digging gold in the mines has elapsed. Now we dig gold on our MetaTrader 4s and MetaTrader 5s. So this is how you do it. First thing first that I always do every time when I'm analyzing gold, I always make sure that I draw my horizontal lines. My horizontal lines, they then represent what we call the support and the resistance. Guys, that information is very much important, because when you're drawing your horizontal lines, you check where was the previous support and where was the previous resistance. In that case, you are drawing what we call a playground for you to know from this position, where will I be going? We all know that you start from kindergarten, you then go to primary, then you go to high school, which is secondary, then you go to what we call tertiary level. You do not skip the levels, you just move from one position to another. It makes it easier for you to know where you're going. It becomes much more easier for you to know where you're going when you are approaching life in terms of steps. Everything has a step. So as you saw gold on the 3rd of November 2022, that's where we started seeing gold being more bullish until today. So there are important figures, there are important points that you must always note when you're analyzing gold. Gold that just doesn't move carelessly. It always follows a pattern. And the moment you know the pattern that gold is following, it becomes much more easier for you to understand what you are doing and to know where to put particular points. So you must never ever, there's something that people do to force your trend lines and to force your entries on gold. You must never ever do that. Trend lines are straight diagonal lines. They are straight diagonal lines. That doesn't need you to now draw in a different in a wrong way, like this. For example, when you draw a trend line like this, you already are not caring much of what is happening here and here. So that's not advisable. So when you draw your trend lines, you must always make sure you draw them in a correct way, where you cater for all the important parts in that particular a graph that you are analyzing. So here I am noticing that each and every time when gold gets to this position, it always just sells. It always just sells. Even here, I'm noticing something that we have not yet completed this candle, and I'll be looking for sells moving downwards even till here, and then from there we start looking for buys if we do not test and start to move on a different direction. So that is gold. So what's important that I always do when I'm trading gold, guys? The first thing that I do, I always look for breakouts, guys. I always look for breakouts. Breakouts happen where? Breakouts happens where you then change a direction. Guys, take note of the following. You're looking for breakouts where? You're looking for breakouts from your support level, from your resistance level, from your diagonal resisting trend lines, from your diagonal supporting trend lines. You're looking for breakouts. That's the main important place where I look for entries on gold. For example, here, I would never look for an entry and say I'm selling gold because it's going to move down. I'm never going to look for an entry. However, in a situation like this, where gold has been inside for quite some time and breaks down, comes back to test, I'm looking forward for an entry on gold here. What is the other situation where gold was selling for some time and creates a beautiful W formation and comes back to test? I'm looking for what? For a buy. So look for all the break. Just Google all the breakouts in forex. It's gonna help you to see and spot the different places where you can have proper entries, and this applies to each and every index. This applies to each and every currency pair or forex, or rather your indices, your synthetic indices and whatsoever. This applies everywhere. So it's very much important that you take note of the following. The other thing that I deem very much important when it comes to gold is to looking at the economic factors, guys. Looking at the economic factors, how is the dollar performing at that time and moment? When you see that the dollar is performing quite well at that time and moment, you will expect that more money is being invested on stocks at that time and moment and not metals. When you see probably some amazing stuff not happening on the dollar, you would expect investors to take their money from those particular stocks and invest them where? Invest them back to what we call metals. So basically that's how it happens. For example, let's say on the previous NFP, the employment change, what happens is most of the people in the United States get to be employed. In that case, you would expect that the investors are gonna put more money on the dollar as opposed to XAUUSD. However, the moment you see that there was less employees being employed and there was more job losses on the United States, then that's where you would expect investors to do the vice versa again, to take money into gold as opposed to what? To the dollar. So basically, that's how I've been analyzing it. That's how I always see it. So the first thing first, it's important for you to go to a bigger time frame to see the overall movement on XAUUSD. So once you've spotted the overall movement, it becomes much more easier for you to go to time frames like the daily time frame, where you just do not over analyze, but you just look at what was happening in terms of the overall direction from the weekly time frame. Then from there, 4 hours almost also similar to what's happening on the daily time frame, but not literally 100% similar. So you can then start again focusing on the more zoomed part and see whether what you were having was correct or incorrect. Because now you must put at the back of your mind that now you are no longer just analyzing, but you wanna get to have entries. As we can see, this broke beautifully. We're looking for it to test. Then from there, we continue moving downwards. So it's as easy as it comes. It is as easy as you guys are looking at it right now. Nothing is difficult when you're trading gold, but it just needs you to be very much aware in terms of what's currently happening in the economy. And from there, when you are more aware, it becomes much more easier for you to make an informative decision, or rather a choice as to what you are expecting gold to give you. I won't lie, gold can make you smile the whole year and gold can make you cry the whole year. It just depends on whether you are able to spot these small differences, these small things that takes place or transpires from it. So it's just the small things, little things that makes you make money from gold or lose it all. So that's it. So from my side right now, all I can say, I'm expecting gold to buy
until that mini resistance there, and from there I'll be expecting gold to continue moving down as nice as it is. So today it's a Friday, so I wouldn't ever expect gold to continue selling from today. I'll expect it to buy. Then from next week Wednesday, that's where I'll be expecting sells from gold, and I'll be taking my entrance from next week Wednesday for sells on gold. So that's my anticipation on gold. So the other thing that people always tend to do is to over risk on gold, because gold is very much volatile. Guys, do not over risk on gold, and gold shall forever play with your emotions. So gold will need you to know your psychology very well, and to be to have a very strong personality. When you have a weak personality and you think gonna trade gold, I'm sorry, my brother, it's gonna do the deeds to you. You're gonna cry. So basically, those were the tips I wanted to give you guys. Not many tips, but those are the small tips that I wanted to give you guys in order for you to know how to trade gold like a pro. And those are the small tips that I use also when I'm trading gold. The rest of the strategy on how to trade gold is offered together with how to trade currencies. So make sure you click the link in my description to get to know that, to get to see more deeper spectrum on how to trade gold. So other than that, if it's got your mentor, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm signing out.
I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. It was quite informative. Do not forget to like and subscribe, man. And also, if you want more of this content, we also are selling a course. Make sure that you buy